SpaceX, am I right? It seems like every time I look up, there's another one of their rockets blasting off.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. They're launching stuff into orbit almost every week now, right?
It's mind-boggling. And, a lot of people are talking about SpaceX's record-breaking year for launches. That's what we're diving into today, figuring out how they've pulled it off.
We're talking about their new world record for orbital launches in a year. Pulling info from this article we found, how SpaceX broke the world record for rocket launches, published just the other day, October 9th.
So let's get right to it. SpaceX just smashed their own record of 96 launches, which they set last year. Can you believe that?
96 launches in a year. It's insane.
Mm.
And they topped it off with a Falcon 9, putting the European Space Agency's Hera planetary defense mission into orbit.
And get this, that mission also happened to be the 23rd and final flight for that particular Falcon 9 booster. They launched a rocket booster 23 times.
23 launches on a single booster. That's got to be some kind of record, right?
Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. And, it really underscores how SpaceX is revolutionizing space travel with their reusable rocket technology.
I mean, think about it. Being able to launch, land, and relaunch a rocket multiple times, it's a complete game changer. It could dramatically reduce the cost of getting to space.
And that's what's so exciting about all of this. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities, not just for government agencies, but for private companies and even regular people like us.
Exactly. Imagine space tourism becoming as commonplace as, say, a trip to Europe. It's
Right.
not so far-fetched anymore.
Okay, so back to SpaceX's record-breaking year. It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, has it? Didn't they have a bit of a mishap with a landing recently?
You're talking about the incident in September, right, where the Falcon 9 booster landed a little off target.
Yeah, that's the one. Did they ever figure out what happened there?
Well, according to the reports, there wasn't any damage or anything, but the booster did touch down outside the designated FAA hazard zone.
And those zones are there for a reason, right? So it must have been a pretty tense moment.
You bet. And the FAA is still investigating exactly why it happened. SpaceX called it an off-nominal deorbit burn. Basically, something didn't go exactly as planned during the rocket's descent.
It does make you realize how many things have to go perfectly for these launches and landings to be successful.
Absolutely. There's very little room for error when you're dealing with rockets.
And after that incident, SpaceX decided to pause their launches for a bit, didn't they, to make sure everything was okay?
Yeah, they did. They voluntarily put things on hold to, prioritize safety and all that.
Which makes sense. With so many launches happening, safety has to be their absolute top priority.
100%. And, it'll be interesting to see how this investigation plays out and whether it leads to any changes in how they operate in the future.
Speaking of the future, we've got to talk about Starship. That massive next-generation rocket SpaceX is building. Elon Musk seems to think it's good to go, but apparently the FAA isn't so sure.
Yeah, Starship is a whole different ballgame compared to Falcon 9. It's way bigger, way more powerful, and uses some seriously cutting-edge technology, some stuff that's never been tried before.
Like that crazy chopstick system? Tell me you've heard about this.
Oh yeah, the chalk sticks. It's exactly what it sounds like, these giant arms that are supposed to catch the super heavy booster midair as it comes back down to Earth.
It's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but also kind of terrifying when you think about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
The idea is to snag the booster with incredible precision so they don't have to go through a complex refurbishment process each time.
I can see why the FAA might be hesitant about that. It's one thing to land a rocket on a drone ship, but catching it with giant chopsticks is a whole other level.
For sure. The FAA's job is to keep everyone safe, and Starship introduces a whole bunch of new challenges and unknowns.
And on top of that, SpaceX has made some recent changes to the mission plan, right? And that's triggered even more scrutiny from the FAA.
Right, they did. The FAA now wants to do a whole new round of safety and environmental reviews before they give Starship the green light. It's going to be a while.
So even though SpaceX seems to have the technology ready to go, it all comes down to whether they get the thumbs up from the regulators.
Yep. And it just goes to show you that space travel isn't just about building bigger and better rockets. It's also about navigating the complexities of regulations and ensuring public safety.
It's a delicate dance, that's for sure. And it makes you wonder, with all this innovation, all these ambitious goals, where does it all lead? What will the future of space travel look like in 10, 20, 50 years? Will SpaceX still be the ones leading the charge? That's something to think about, right?
Something to think about, definitely.